Hey there, Michael Stelzner coming at you live from my office in Poway, California. I was just on the phone a few minutes ago with a freelance writer, and she was talking about a problem that I think many of you can relate to, and I thought it would be wise for me to go ahead and put a little quick video together. And here was the challenge that she's facing, and I think all of us deal with this every once in a while, and it's basically this. You've got all this opportunity that comes in, but it comes in spurts. It's like a train. It starts, stops, starts, stops. Feast, famine, feast, famine, feast, famine. You ever been there? Can you relate? Well, I can. And let me tell you some of the advice that I told this gal, and I think it's advice that could be of great value to you. Let me use a quick analogy. You see this little thing right here? This is a coffee filter, a cheap little coffee filter. And when you get a project, it's kind of like filling up the coffee filter. Put some coffee grinds inside this little bad boy, get some water in your coffee machine, and then just drink the coffee. And drink the coffee, and drink the coffee until all of a sudden, oh my gosh, there's no more coffee. What am I going to do? Freak out. Well, hey, we're okay. We still got some more beans. Put the beans in the grinder, grind the coffee grinds, drink the coffee, drink the coffee. But what happens when all of a sudden you run out of coffee beans or you run out of water? That's kind of like running out of opportunity. The moral of the story is, in order to really effectively manage your business as a freelancer or a consultant, whether you be a writer or any other kind of business, you need to constantly be looking forward and be thinking about what is in the pipeline. What opportunities do I have? If you don't, what's going to end up happening is you might land a project or two, be very happy, and work your buns off and think, wow, life is good. And then all of a sudden, when that project ends, you say, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Now what? It's a very common problem, and here's how I go about solving it. A couple things I do. First of all, I have a monthly newsletter that comes out every single month on a regular basis. No matter how busy I am, I always come out with that newsletter. And I force myself to make sure that I get it done. Secondly, I've got an identity on Twitter, and I'm constantly feeding my audience every single day with interesting things in the social media and white paper frontier. By doing that, I'm staying in front of my clients. And the moral of the story here, and that's just a couple things that you can do, but the moral of the story is that you must constantly be sending messages out, broadcasting, being seen, being known, and being heard, no matter whether you are super busy or whether you're super slow. Because the best scenario is to be able to say, I'm sorry, I can't take you on, Mr. or Mrs. Client, because I have too much work on my hands. The other thing that you can do is try to figure out what levers you can push and pull at the right time. And the trick is, when you're right in the midst of a project and you're super, super slammed, that's the moment when you say, I can't possibly fathom any more work, that you need to think about your marketing. You need to stop what you're doing and just spend 5 minutes and look at your projection, look at your pipeline and say, how much more work do I have? How much longer can I go like this? And that's the moment when you need to start being strategic and thinking. And if you can't do the marketing, then you need to pay someone else to do it for you. I have a gal that I pay that helps me make sure the newsletter gets done. I have writers that I pay. So the moral of the story is, there's other things, by the way, before I tell you the moral. You can also pull the levers on certain kinds of advertising. For example, online pay-per-click advertising. You can turn that sucker on and let those leads start coming in and get some exposure to people that are searching on keywords, and then when you're super busy, turn it off. And when you sense that you're going to need to start getting an opportunity again a couple weeks out, turn it back on. Turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. By doing that, by doing social media marketing, by doing electronic push email marketing, all these kinds of things strategically, you will constantly be at the point where opportunity goes up and up and up instead of down and down and down. I hope these tips were worthwhile to you. This is just a spontaneous video that I decided to produce today. And once again, you're hearing from Michael Stelzner. Have a great day.